warm welcome to another edition of Side by Side. And this one is going to be a little bit different because to begin with, we have a lot of activity here. We have road work, so if there's some low frequency rumble, you know what it is. But then the factory is running, so you got doors and people coming and going. But don't let that distract you. You can use it for listening to the microphones, actually. So what we have today is the legendary U67 right here. And then we have the 100K, the FlowFet edition of 100K. And I'm going to spend most of my time talking about what I think a microphone should be and what it should do, because there's so much written about the 67. I mean, there's so much said and so much written, and you can, so just I'm going to run my mouth and let you listen to these two microphones. As far as frequency response, again, we are, I've decided to match them like this, so we have a couple of connection points. As you can see, again, the 100K is extending both kind of at the upper region and the lower region. It extends further, but that's not important, and definitely not what I'm going to talk about today, because what the 67 does, which I find very attractive, and many people have done so, is that it does something to the sound, and I would call it, I would say that it cooks the sound. Because if you think about it, what we want music or audio production to be is really to prepare the sound for the listener. This sound is not going to be, it's not going to be analyzed by the computer. It's going to be listened to by a person with ears and a brain and a heart. So it's all about the perception. It's all about the subjective experience, really. And that's why when we prepare it, the sound, when we do the recording, the production, which starts typically by the microphone. I mean, it starts with the performance. But when we come in as sound engineers, we engage the microphone, and the microphone is a tool of that production, a very important one. That's why we have to take great care. We have to have skill when we're recording the sound source or the performance, and we also have to have a certain love and loving care about what comes out at the other end. It's not enough if you prepare a dinner for a loved one. You don't pay attention to things like how sharp is the knife I'm cutting with, how bright or how white and bright is the lighting when I serve the dinner, how raw is the meat. No, that's not how you do it. That's what we call, that's more like describing surgery, setting up for surgery with everything is super clean, it's disinfected. That's not serving a dinner. What you're doing here is you're trying to prepare a meal for somebody who really will appreciate it, hopefully. So you're taking the raw material, which in this case is not vegetables or meat. You are taking the song, the story, or the spoken word, whatever it is, and you are presenting it in the best possible way for enjoyment. You want to keep the nutritional value, so you don't want to take anything away from it. You don't want to ruin the vitamins or anything that's in the message or in the raw material. Remember, I'm talking about a song here or a message. But you want to cook it. You want to prepare it, which is sometimes a little bit of frying on both sides, a little bit of chopping up. So you're shaping this sound, and that's what the 67 I think does. It does shape the sound. Sometimes you can say that it makes it sound like a record, which is the same thing. So I think that why is this important? I mean, of course, I said the production starts with the microphone, and what you have from the microphone is what you have to work with the rest of the way. So it's really important that you don't have anything you don't need, but it's also important that you have everything you do need, what's important. And one of the things is definitely mid-range resolution. Now, I have to say that in terms of the 67, it does soften the mid-range a little bit in a nice way. But that's something you can achieve later. So I'm more interested in having as much resolution as possible in the mid-range, so you have all these details. And when we talk about frequency response and mid-range, it doesn't matter if the response is a little bit tilted or even limited, as long as you don't have these wrinkles, these nasty little resonances, which are like colorations that you cannot get rid of. They are destructive in a way that they are irreversible. You know what I'm saying? So having this, good raw material, which is nicely presented, just enough cooked. You don't serve raw pasta. You don't serve overcooked pasta. You serve pasta that's just cooked just the right amount of time, and then it's very enjoyable. Okay, but the other thing about it is that the microphone is important, but it becomes important in the production process because it becomes part of the production process. When you are recording, you are listening to your voice through the headphones, if you are the artist or performer, like I'm doing now. So the microphone becomes part of what I call a emotional feedback loop, which is me speaking into the microphone, then hearing my own voice and getting inspired to use my voice maybe in a different way, slightly different way, because of what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? It does change the performance, and I think the microphone should be pleasing enough to make you perform even better. It shouldn't be misleading, I'm not saying that, but it should really make you feel great. So, and I think that's what we have achieved with the 100K and the FlowFit.
Bon.